Tonight, President Trump arrives here in Hanoi amid the major headline back home. The president's longtime fixer and personal attorney in the hot seat.
Mr. Cohen, should the president be worried?
Micheal Cohen behind closed doors today. Tonight, senators saying they have learned new information already. And Cohen is now set to testify before the American people. He will accuse the president of criminal conduct. All of this amid the high-stakes summit here in Vietnam. The president has arrived, so has Kim Jong-un. The remarkable images, the cigarette break seen around the world. And tonight, the increasing pressure on President Trump, willing to meet with Kim Jong-un again. But will the North Korean dictator give up his nuclear weapons? Back home tonight, trapped on the train, passengers stranded almost 40 hours, trapped in snow and downed trees. And the new storm we're now watching tonight. The evacuations, the factory going up in flames today. The man accused of killing his childhood friend, the verdict tonight after that confession was shown in court. The ABC News exclusive, Robin Roberts with actress Selma Blair and her remarkable bravery on display tonight. What she reveals about her battle with MS and what every parent will want to hear. Outrage on the Hill tonight, CEOs of the major drug companies are asked, why are prescription drugs skyrocketing? How they answer. And tonight, our trip to Halong Bay, what we saw for ourselves, the stunning sight off Vietnam, one of the new wonders of the world.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Hanoi, Vietnam.
And good evening tonight from Hanoi. President Trump has arrived here in Vietnam, and so has the North Korean dictator. The stakes are enormous. The president willing to hold now a second summit, but will Kim give up his nuclear weapons? And all of this tonight amid unfolding drama back home. President Trump walking down the steps of Air Force One, fully aware that back home they are watching something else unfold too. His former personal attorney and fixer Micheal Cohen walking toward the Senate hearing room today to start 3 days of questioning. Tomorrow, he'll be before the American people. And tonight, what we've learned here, what Cohen is going to say about his former boss, on his finances, his worth, and it's believed Cohen will accuse the president of criminal conduct. ABC's Mary Bruce leading us off tonight with the dramatic day on the Hill.
Micheal Cohen, who once said he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump, arriving on Capitol Hill today to unload on the president. Mr. Cohen, should the president be worried? What evidence do you have of criminal conduct? You've lied before. Why should Congress trust you now, Mr. Cohen? He spent hours behind closed doors with the Senate Intelligence Committee, but tomorrow he will testify in public, describing, according to sources, the president's, quote, lying, racism, and cheating. And for the first time, he will accuse the president of criminal conduct while in office and provide what he says is evidence. A dramatic reversal for the man who stood at the president's side for a decade.
I'm obviously very loyal and very dedicated to Mr. Trump.
Cohen has pleaded guilty to a host of crimes, including breaking campaign finance laws by paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels just 11 days before the election. President Trump initially claimed he knew nothing about it.
Why did Micheal Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegations?
Well, you have to ask Micheal Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Micheal.
But prosecutors say the president actually directed Cohen to make those payments. And tomorrow, Cohen is expected to say just that.
You're going to concerns about Micheal Cohen's testimony before Congress?
No.
Cohen will also explain why he lied to Congress about a Trump Tower deal in Moscow, a project he now admits Trump's team was negotiating well into the campaign. Sources say he will also produce some of the president's financial statements, which he says show Trump made false claims about his net worth. And tonight, Republicans are on the attack. Congressman Matt Gaetz, a Trump ally, tweeting what seemed like a threat to reveal embarrassing personal information about Cohen, saying Cohen's wife is, quote, about to learn a lot.
We're witness testing, not witness tampering. And when witnesses come before Congress, their truthfulness and veracity are in question, and we have the opportunity to test them.
But Cohen tonight is undeterred.
I look forward to tomorrow, to being able to, in my voice, to tell the American people my story. I'm going to let the American people decide exactly who's telling the truth.
And Mary Bruce with us live on the Hill tonight. And Mary, we saw in your report right there the president's allies on the attack against Micheal Cohen. And tonight the White House lashing out as well?
David, Republicans and the White House are trying to discredit Cohen's testimony by pointing out that he has lied to Congress before. The White House press secretary saying, quote, it's laughable that anyone would take a convicted liar like Cohen at his word. But David, members of the Senate Intelligence Committee tonight tell us this was a serious grilling and that the Cohen that showed up today was, quote, a very different guy. David.
Mary Bruce leading us off tonight. Mary, thank you. And we should note ABC News will have live coverage of the Cohen hearing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern right here. And what is unclear tonight is if the president will be watching any of that hearing. He certainly has his hands full right here in Vietnam, agreeing to meet for a second time now with Kim Jong-un. The president waving from his car today, and Kim Jong-un, after traveling in his armored train through China, then getting into a motorcade to finish the trip through Vietnam. You can see his bodyguards there jogging alongside. And with hours to go before they meet now, the president tonight and what he's now signaling about this summit. ABC's John Carl right here in Hanoi with us tonight.
A half a world away from the political turmoil back home, President Trump received a lavish greeting in Vietnam. Hundreds waving American flags. Tremendous crowds, he tweeted. So much love. After a nearly 3,000-mile, 65-hour journey, Kim Jong-un stepped off his armored train in Vietnam to a red carpet welcome. The grinning North Korean dictator outpacing one of his aides who scrambled to keep up. The journey offered rare, unscripted glimpses of the reclusive leader. Japanese TV capturing him puffing a cigarette while his sister, Kim Yo-jong, held a crystal ashtray. In Vietnam, a more familiar scene, Kim's security detail jogging alongside his armored Mercedes. For Summit 2, both leaders are hoping to achieve something Summit 1 did not: concrete results. Kim is seeking relief from crushing economic sanctions. President Trump is saying North Korea can become an economic powerhouse if Kim agrees to give up his nukes. But U.S. intelligence officials say they see no sign North Korea is ready to do that.
The regime is committed to developing a long-range nuclear armed missile that would pose a direct threat to the United States.
Last year, President Trump called on the dictator to give up his nuclear weapons and fast.
Mr. President, did he agree to denuclearize, sir?
We're starting that process very quickly. Very, very quickly. Absolutely.
But this year?
I'm not in a rush. I don't want to rush anybody.
John Carl with us live tonight here in Hanoi. John, you and I will be watching as this summit unfolds here in Vietnam. And the president knows full well that as he prepares for this summit now, his former fixer, Micheal Cohen, will be testifying against him on Capitol Hill. And there are reports tonight that the president will be watching some of that hearing.
David, Cohen will be testifying late into the night, into the early morning hours here in Vietnam. But I would be shocked if the president doesn't find a way to watch at least some of that testimony. In terms of the response, the White House, for the most part, is leaving it up to the president's outside supporters. But the president considers himself the ultimate counterpuncher, and you can be sure that the response that really matters will ultimately come from the president himself. David?
All right, John Carl with us tonight as well. John, thank you. In the meantime, there are several other stories unfolding this Tuesday night back home. The race to help passengers trapped on an Amtrak train since Sunday, trapped in heavy snow and down power lines. 183 people stranded in Oregon for 37 hours with food and other supplies running out. ABC's Will Carr tonight with the video from inside that train.
Tonight, a crisis averted. 183 passengers thankful to get off a train that was trapped for almost 40 hours.
We are moving, and that looks totally awesome.
The train was supposed to run from Seattle to Los Angeles, but came to a screeching halt when a tree fell on the tracks in rural, snow-covered Oregon. The hours passing, food started to run short.
As of tonight, that was the last meal that was available.
The situation so dire, passengers were forced to create makeshift diapers for the kids on board.
Luckily, a really nice lady came in and gave me some pull-ups because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Passengers singing, sleeping, and posting about their plight on social media.
No one has given us any information until the media got involved.
Then, nearly 50 hours after some stepped on board, that bell sounding the toll of elation.
David, as that Amtrak train pulls into Union Station here in Portland, Amtrak is offering the passengers refunds and apologies tonight. David.
What an ordeal. Will, thank you. The dangerous storm that stranded that Amtrak train, part of the system slamming the west tonight and on the move. Whiteout conditions in Springfield, Oregon, that's near Eugene, and an ice and snow emergency closing schools for a second day now. Tonight, also the blast of snow hitting the Great Lakes, and that will move east. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, of course, tracking it all. Ginger.
David, there are evacuations tonight along the Russian River in Northern California. A mudslide reported, and we've got more than a foot of rain that's already fallen. So flood warnings in place there. You could see another 5 inches in some places in the next 24 to 36 hours. And in the Sierra, up to another 5 feet of snow. A quick look at that snow coming through from the Great Lakes through the Northeast. It'll be a blast, just enough to make the road slick, David.
Ginger Z tonight. Ginger, thank you. And from Michigan tonight, a massive fire at a plastics factory outside Detroit. The evacuations, and we could see the workers getting out of that plant today as the fire was raging. ABC's Alex Perez on the investigation already underway.
This raging inferno in suburban Detroit.
A stunning spectacle in the sky. It can be seen for miles and miles.
The blaze in a storage area for a plastics factory in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
This is crazy.
Firefighters from multiple departments battling massive flames.
I have never seen black smoke so thick, and I've never seen it from so far away.
Plastic and metal auto part containers, some 20,000 storage bins fueling the fire. Loud explosions, believed to be siding crinkling and plastic burning, rocking the area.
From our understanding, that is some of the plastic containers. No hazardous materials.
Officials evacuating employees working nearby as a precaution.
David, luckily authorities say no one was injured. The exact cause of that massive blaze now under investigation. David?
Alex, thank you. There was outrage on Capitol Hill today amid skyrocketing prices when it comes to prescription drugs in this country. Top drug company executives grilled by the Senate Finance Committee about the high cost. Senator Johnny Isaacson of Georgia, who has Parkinson's disease, asking for so many Americans why his medication suddenly jumped $90. And Oregon Senator Ron Wyden with harsh words, too.
Drug makers behave as if the patients and the taxpayers are unlocked ATMs full of cash to be extracted.
For their part, the CEOs warned any government price controls would slow research, they say, into common diseases. In the meantime, we turn to an ABC News exclusive tonight. Extraordinary bravery from a face many will know about her battle with MS. Actress Selma Blair speaking on camera for the first time about her personal struggle. MS affects as many as 1 million Americans. It's a chronic, often unpredictable disease of the central nervous system involving the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves, and causing problems with vision, balance, and muscle control. It affects so many in different ways, and it can often be debilitating. Robin Roberts with Selma Blair and what she wants everyone to know.
An emotional return to the red carpet for actress Selma Blair. The 46-year-old, who is known for her roles in cult classics like Cruel Intentions, Legally Blonde, and The Sweetest Thing, now facing a new challenge. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. I am very happy to see you being able to just put out what being in the middle of an aggressive form of multiple sclerosis is like. So my speech, as you'll notice, is I have spasmodic dysphonia right now.
When you were first diagnosed, what initially went through your mind?
I cried. I had tears. They weren't tears of panic. They were tears of knowing I now had to give in to a body that had loss of control. And there was some relief in that, because ever since my son was born, I was in an MS flare-up and didn't know. And I was giving it everything to seem normal. And I was self-medicating when he wasn't with me. And, I was drinking. I was in pain. I wasn't always drinking, but there were times when I couldn't take it. And I was really struggling with how am I going to get by in life and not taken seriously by doctors. And so when I got the diagnosis, I cried with some relief, like, oh, good, I'll be able to do something.
How difficult was it to share it with your son?
Not at all. I always want him to feel safe, never responsible for me. But he had already seen that I was falling and doing things. He said, I have something called multiple sclerosis. And he almost cried and said, will it kill you? And I said, No, I mean, we never know what kills us, Arthur. But this is not the doctor telling me I'm dying. And he was like, oh, okay.
What are doctors telling you? What's your prognosis?
The doctor I saw, he said within a year, I could have, at the time, he said, 90% of my abilities back. So this is to say, that's me.
You got a date. I'll see you in a year.
VanityFair.com, the March issue of their magazine, is out right now with Selma's story. Was shown in court, and there is news coming in tonight on the Zookeeper injured by a rhino attacked, struck by its horn while training. We'll have more on that. A lot more news ahead tonight. We turn next tonight to a verdict in a murder trial making national headlines. A young man in New Jersey convicted of killing a childhood friend. Prosecutors playing a secret recording at trial. My 2020 co-anchor Amy Robach following the case.
Late today, the young man accused of murdering his childhood friend in cold blood found guilty on all counts by a New Jersey jury. Prosecutors argued pure greed drove Liam McAtasney to strangle 19-year-old Sarah Stern, a promising young artist who went missing from her home in 2016.
She was a great kid and never should have ended like this.
Jurors viewing this chilling tape, police say, was his confession.
It took me a half an hour to kill her.
They say McAtasney planned to murder Stern, then steal thousands of dollars her late mother left her.
The worst part of it is I thought I was walking out 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She had one safe, and she took money out, and she only had 10 grand.
McAtasney claimed that video was merely an audition for a horror film. The jury didn't buy it. McAtasney will be sentenced in May. He faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. David?
All right, Amy Robach with us tonight. Amy, thank you. You can see much more of Amy's reporting on this chilling case. A 2-hour edition of 2020 this Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see Amy on Friday night. In the meantime, when we come back, news tonight about a major car maker adding jobs in the U.S. We'll tell you where. Also more on that mother and daughter accused of killing 5 family members in their home and the mother's chilling words to police tonight. And the new health headline we thought you'd be interested in for sleep-deprived parents. How much sleep are you losing taking care of your children in their early years? And how many years does it take to catch up on that sleep? In a moment. To the index of other news tonight, the chilling murder case in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Authorities say Shayna Dupree and her daughter have now confessed to killing 5 family members in their home, a 13-year-old boy and 9-year-old twin girls among the victims. The mother allegedly telling police everyone, quote, wanted to die. The zookeeper injured by a rhino at the Jacksonville Zoo tonight. The 4,000-pound rhino named Archie striking the zookeeper with its horn during a training session. Archie has been at the zoo since 1975, escaping once in 2010. The zookeeper tonight says she's going to be okay. News about American jobs tonight. Fiat Chrysler planning to add 6,500 jobs in Michigan. The company will build a new assembly plant in Detroit and increase production at 5 other facilities. The car maker says it will also cut, though, about 1,400 jobs in Illinois. And a new study tonight for sleep-deprived parents. Researchers say those sleepless nights hit their peak about 3 months after your baby is born. Mothers losing about an hour a night on average. Fathers losing about 15 minutes. Come on, dads. The study shows most parents will only begin catching up on that sleep 6 years in. When we come back from Vietnam tonight, our recent trip to Halong Bay, what we saw for ourselves, the stunning sight right off Vietnam, one of the new wonders of the world. Finally tonight here, a magical spot about 100 miles from where we are here in Hanoi. Kim Jong-un's grandfather came to see it in the 1960s. And not long ago, we saw it for ourselves. We head out to the chopper waiting in Hanoi to take us to a breathtaking sight. The crew is about to show us a place some 100 miles from Hanoi. We take off for Halong Bay, and in the air we begin to see what draws millions from all over the world. Halong means descending dragon. And looking out the window, the incredible sight. The limestone formations as far as we could see. And from the ground, the tour boats dwarfed by those formations. It really is spectacular. I mean, everywhere you look here, you see the limestone islands coming up out of the water. Take a look at this. They estimate that there are
thousands of them here in the bay.
It was not long ago Halong Bay was named one of the new natural wonders of the world, and they are very proud here.
Halong became one of the 7 new wonder natural of the world. Because you see here, not only the view, very, very beautiful view. Halong became one of the 7 new wonder natural of the world.
UNESCO has placed Halong Bay on the World Heritage Site.
18 years, you've been a tour guide.
Right.
So you know this place well.
Of course, Halong Bay looks like my hometown.
Scientists believe these formations began 500 million years ago, sculpted by tectonic movement and ocean water.
Why has a mountain go up? That means that happened by earthquake, but happened very, very long time ago. But now you see here, very peaceful, very beautiful view here.
A place where millions on tour boats still share the waters with the local fishermen and their families, who call Halong Bay home.
Feel very lucky to have seen it myself. Thought we'd share it with you tonight. Thank you for watching here on a Tuesday night. I'm David Muir. I hope to see you right back here tomorrow night from Hanoi. Until then, have a good evening. Good night.